Connor feels like he's in the driver's seat and then losing control, and it's a tumultuous ride, but I think it's a fun ride. And I hope that the audience watching has as much fun with those scenes as we had shooting them, because yeah, it was a blast.
Well, it's nice to meet you finally. Been a huge fan of your take on Superboy, and I finished watching the whole season. And Matt, you had a lot of work this year. You got to do a lot of stuff, and like I was talking to Greg Walker. I asked him, I don't know who had more fun, Joshua getting to act at all those Connor Luthor scenes, or you writers getting to write all that. And when they told you that this was the direction they were going, what was going through your head of like, oh my God, I'm about to have that complete 180 with Connor this year?
I was just rubbing my hands together. I was like, oh, this is so juicy. I can't wait to get stuck into this. Man, from the moment before we started shooting, I was having a conversation with Ryan Potter, and who plays Beast Boy, and he was like, dude, I heard a rumor. I was like, what? He's like, gonna do Lex Luthor this season. I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect it. I was so excited though. As soon as I heard that, I was like, yes, this is gonna be the one. We're gonna really delve deep into these ideas and these concepts that we've teased but never really kind of got to deal with. So I was so grateful and excited for the opportunity to step into this season. And retrospectively, now that we know it's the final season, I'm happy that we can walk away from the series as a whole, me personally, while knowing that we got to do everything that I'd ever wanted to do with the character. So very satisfied and happy with that.
I've been wanting to ask you about getting to work with Titus Welliver as Lex. It was really just for one episode. Like, you guys still got in a lot of stuff throughout that just one episode. How was it working with him and finally getting to play into that Lex character after all these years?
He's fantastic. I really loved what he did with the character. He came in and he brought an immediate gravitas and a weight to this character that has lived in my mind for years now. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about, as Connor and also as myself, who this guy is and what he represents. And Titus just immediately, instantly embodied that for me. And I hope for the audience too. I really enjoyed playing that scene with him, because really it was only one scene that we had together, but it was a great scene. I love how it turned out, and I love the way it was written, and I think it was very true to both characters, particularly to Connor. I think that coming into that interaction and that meeting, he behaved very authentically and very genuinely, and there was nothing that I really wanted to change at all. Everything was all there on the page. So for me, it was just about coming in and being receptive to what Titus was doing, and really trying to live in the moment during that encounter. Luckily, and this isn't always the case, we had an opportunity to rehearse that scene. So we came in early and we went to that location, and we had some discussions, Titus, Nick Kopus, the director, and myself, and I think we were able to craft a scene that really serves as a springboard for the rest of the season in terms of Connor's character arc and his trajectory for the season. So yeah, very grateful and happy with that.
I would never have imagined that Connor would have been the one that would have gotten so close with Sebastian once he was brother blood. Talk about working with Joseph Morgan in that capacity, because I mean, again, I feel like it goes from 0 to 100 between you guys. There's a lot of screaming, a lot of frustration. So can you talk about having a dynamic with him?
Joseph, brilliant actor. He's really skilled, great collaborator. He always made me feel like my input was really valued, and creatively what he was doing was just super impressive and interesting. And he'd just obviously done his homework. So he came in and the character was fully formed, fully three-dimensional, and he was exploring different avenues about who Sebastian was, but he had a real depth to him from the get-go. So it was easy to kind of come into a scene with him and play off of that, if that makes sense. just a real pleasure to work with him. And as you say, we got the opportunity, particularly in episode 10 coming out this week, to share some scenes together and quite a bit of screen time. And it's interesting to see how both of those characters' individual motivations converge and then diverge at various points in the story, and how that affects the power dynamic between them. At any given point, you think one character has the upper hand, and then it just flips on its head, and now all of a sudden the other character has the upper hand, and Connor feels like he's in the driver's seat and then losing control, and it's a tumultuous ride. But I think it's a fun ride, and I hope that the audience watching has as much fun with those scenes as we had shooting them, because it was a blast.
I bet they're going to enjoy them quite a lot. I just want to ask, because I'm a huge comic book fan, and I know you've really gone yourself into the Superboy character over the years. The whole idea of shaving the head and doing like the homage to Infamous comic, was that your idea, or like where did that idea come from?
The shaving the head, or doing the comic book?
But kind of all of it.
The stuff where I like go on my Instagram and I like take a photo that tries to mirror like an iconic illustration from a comic book. That's definitely something that no one tells me to do, and that I just want to do, because I know that people will get excited, and I'll get excited, and people love kind of pointing that, oh my God, he's doing the thing from the thing. Like I think immediately, as soon as I was cast, the first thing I wanted to do was that. I think the first photo that I posted after the casting announcement back in like 2019 was I did that Superboy cover from the 90s with like tape on my back, and it was just, it's a lot of fun doing that stuff. So that particular photo where it's Connor and he's just shaved his head and he's got the razor, and I tried to recreate that from the comic book. That was just like in the little bathroom in my trailer on set. So clearly I have too much time on my hands, but the way that the shaving of the head eventuated was that obviously it came from the writers. They had the idea, and then they brought it to me, and they actually gave me the choice, which was very kind of them, because I'm sure they could have just told me to do it and I would have had no choice. But they said, would you be willing to shave your head? Or alternatively, you can wear a bald cap. But I think this is where Connor's going to go in the future of the story. And I was like, wow, this is great. I was more than willing to shave my head, because having witnessed Titus Welliver as Lex have to have the bald cap applied and then maintained in between takes and whatnot. I like my sleep, and I don't really want to come into work 3 hours early to have a bald cap applied every day. And also I sweat a lot, and this might be too much information, so tune out now if you don't want to hear something a little bit gross. But when you wear those bald caps, they accumulate sweat, and I'm just a sweaty person in general. So if it's slightly hot, I'll be sweating a lot anyway. And it kind of gets trapped in there. So at the end of the day, you'll take the thing off, and then the sweat will kind of just all pour out of it. It's
like a rainstorm.
Exactly. No, that's not good. So I knew that, and I was like, no, I'll just shave it. And I did, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it could be. I really took that as a win, because I didn't know how it was going to feel, how it was going to look, and everything turned out all right. So yeah, I don't regret that decision at all. And
well, it grew back. Yeah, that's the thing. It grows back quickly, because I've shaved my head, and I know it grows back quickly. So, and I feel you when it comes to the sweat problem. I totally get it. So for it sometimes it's just the way it is. I know you're a lot on Instagram. I don't know, but I know you're not on Twitter. But I don't know if you've seen this, because I wanted to see what you thought about this. So there's a new Superman movie in the works. James Gunn is doing a whole DC universe, and a lot of people have been throwing your name around. They're like Superboy to Superman. Would you, if you got that call? I mean, would you do it? Do you feel ready to go from a t-shirt to a cape and suit?
I think that I would have to be open to the opportunity. I'd have to be open to playing that role, because it's such an iconic and a massive opportunity that just doesn't come around too often, right? if I were offered that role, I'd probably have no choice but to accept, regardless of my feelings on the matter.
But you would
I'm
be I think you would be a great Superman. Like, I do support that idea.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm very flattered that some people think that I might do a good job, but I know as much as you do in terms of what they're doing with that new movie. I don't have any inside information. But from the sound of it, it kind of feels like they're starting fresh, and they want to have a clean slate and do their own interpretation of the character and their own thing that's separate to anything that's come before. So I feel like maybe the fact that I have played Superboy and I am a little close, I've been a part of the DC world in my own small way previously. Maybe I'm less suited to now coming in to play a newer version of the character, but I am very much looking forward to taking a step back and kind of watching this unfold as a fan and being a more passive audience member once again, because I'm so passionate and I'm so in love with these characters, and I have been forever. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do, and I'm excited to go to the movies and just check it out. And obviously, if I was presented with the opportunity of playing that part, I couldn't say no to it. I just physically couldn't say no. But I'm excited to see what they do with it, regardless. There's a very non-answer for you, but
no, I get it, but like, who knows what will happen in the future? Because I've seen the series finale, I there's a moment particularly I want you to kind of like at least tease the audience of, it's towards the very end, and how thrilled were you as a fan to get to do what they're gonna see, like who you're with in that episode?
Oh yes, I was absolutely ecstatic. I don't want to give anything away whatsoever, so I'll be as vague as possible. There is a moment in the series finale where something takes place in terms of Connor and his storyline that I think fans are just going to love. And I have seen a little section of the finished episode that pertains to this moment in question, and I got a little bit giddy when I was watching. I was like, oh, this is good, because I want to give it context, but even the context would give it away, so I'm not going to say anything.
I know, but it will get, but the thing is, like, they will speculate now. So, and that's the thing, you build hype, and now people will be like, oh, what is he talking about? Because you have two moments. You have two moments actually.
Yes.
And now that I think about it.
Yeah. Well, all I'll say then is that I'm very, very excited for the fans to see the series finale, and I hope that they respond to it in the same way that I did.
And what do you have coming up? What's next for you?
Right now, I'm actually really enjoying some time with my family. I live in Australia, if you can't tell by the way that I speak. But yeah, it's good to be home, because I've spent a lot of time over the past few years living in Canada. We shot Titans in Toronto, so it's really nice to be back home and have the opportunity to spend some time with my family and friends in Australia, and doing some travel around the country. And I'm not going away anytime soon. There's nothing I can talk about at the moment, but I'm very happy to be doing what I'm doing. I think I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it. Joshua, it was so nice to speak to you. Thank you for everything you've done with Superboy. Congrats on what has been an amazing season and one of your best seasons as an actor. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good one. Hopefully talk to you in the future.